Do you think fat people should do or know better? Is their being overweight their problem, their fault? They should know to eat less, exercise more. They just lack willpower. Is that what you think? Because I do not think that. And in this video, I'll explain what I think instead. But it's not about fat people or thin people, happy or sad people, successful business owner or unsuccessful and homeless person. It's about our individual talents, strengths, weaknesses, ability to change them, and the impact our environment has on all of those things. Something that I think is patently, factually obvious, but most people seem to ignore this, especially when they point the finger at groups that they say should know or do better. So, this is another no free will video in essence. You are who you are. You like what you like. Some things you can change and other things you can't. I think that's pretty obvious. So if you're overweight and struggling to lose weight, in my opinion, it's not your fault. The bad news, however, is people are still going to think that it is your fault, and so the social stigma will continue, and there are health consequences to being overweight. But this is true for all personality types, all people with addictions, and all the preferences, positive and negative, that people seem to have. For example, people do not choose to be neurodiverse or neurotypical. They don't choose to have an addictive personality. They don't choose to be a hedonist or a hermit type introvert, a bit like me. They don't choose to be ugly or beautiful, small or tall, hilariously funny or awkwardly awful. They don't choose to be fat. They also don't choose, this is the bit most people don't understand, by the way, how well they can change, improve themselves. How well they can deal with their addictions, preferences, how well they can do life, how well they can change, adapt, improve and get better. None of this is chosen. So, it's not the cards you play, it's how you play the cards. That's partly true. However, how you play the cards is one of the cards, and you don't get to pick that card. So, just like you don't choose your intelligence, your social skills and ability to improve those social skills, and, again, important, how well you can thrive in the environment that you find yourself in. You don't get to choose that either. So right now, in the West, we live in an obese-friendly, sedentary-inducing environment. It's never been this obese-friendly. Ultra-processed food, distractions from social media, and pressures to survive, live well, do better than everyone else. There's never been so much pressure as there is right now. Stress is everywhere. Enter comforting junk food, alcohol addictions, porn addictions, etc. Yes, the environment we live in is the main reason I think that obesity and diabetes is on the increase. Yes, there will always be slim people in a what I call fat environment right now. I'm slim. There will always be fat people in a slim environment. Think developing countries in Africa perhaps, where there's a lot more slim people. Or think 1940s, 1950s, Europe and America. It's just that there will be more fat people in a fat environment and there will be fewer fat people in a slim environment. That's the point I'm trying to make in this video. make the environment less stressful, less obese friendly, less addiction friendly, and there'll be fewer addicts, fewer obese people, fewer people with mental health issues. Isn't that obvious? Some people will always have a tendency to be overweight, have drink problems, not function well in society, but not from choice or lack of willpower. And there'll be some people who will always be small, and there'll be some people who will always be tall. It's genetic, pre-programmed, and environment can make things better or make things worse. Everyone does better in a supportive, encouraging, but still firm environment, don't they? And there are two environments that matter here. The external environment that I've been talking about and the internal environment that we live with all the time, the mind and all the thoughts that go on there. If you are pressuring yourself to be better, slimmer, funnier, or have more willpower, abusively so sometimes, how can you expect yourself to do well in that internal environment? Your environment matters. Some of that you have no control over. Some of that you can pay attention to and perhaps be in a kinder, more supportive internal environment. Environment matters. It's not your fault. Genetics is more important. Luck and timing is more important. Your skills, your strengths and weaknesses are more important. And your ability to develop those strengths and weaknesses is really important. If you're interested in what I'm saying, you could check out Dr. Robert Sapolsky. He has loads of videos about this. And I will put some scientific notes in the description that speaks about this. But this has not been stirred from scientific research. This has been stirred from noting the bleeding obvious. Noting the bleeding obvious. This is what I see. This is my perspective about fat people, successful people, depressed people, struggling people, thriving people. The environment makes a big difference. Do you have people supporting you? Do you have people pressuring you? Do you have people belittling you? Etc. It's not your fault. Environment matters. That's what I say anyway. And I would love to know what you think about fat people, obesity, people who have addictions, people who struggle, people who succeed. What do you think? Is this, what I've just said, a whole lot of nonsense? Or might there be something to it? Please do let me know in the comments. Thank you for listening.